Hello everyone, we are from Group 6. We want to explain about understanding Old English, and the first one will be explained by my friend.
Hello, my name is Aulia Nur Shadrina and my student number is 66. I'll be explaining about spelling and sound in Old English. So, Anglo-Saxon scribes adopted Roman alphabet because it is at that time Christianity came to them. There is grapheme, it refers to symbol that is used to represent a phoneme. There is graph, it's one letter that represent one phoneme, and then there is digraph. It's two-letter combination that represent one phoneme. So as the table here is shown, there is a few example of Old English vowel sound like this A, like as in retter. Here is the IPA symbol and many more. You can see it for yourself. And then there is moving on. There is diphthong. It's combination of two vowel sound that is when collided together form a new sound. Like in here, there is another table with four example, like the symbol A found in the transcription on the right. It represents a phoneme called schwa, and that's it. Thank you for listening.
My name is Utami Dewi and my student number is 067. Now I'm going to explain about Old English consonant sound. It is the use of those letters was motivated because Roman alphabet didn't have enough letters to represent variety of sound in Old English. And if you want to know what the kind or list of the English Old English consonant sound, you can read it by yourself in the module.
Now, we are moving to the vocabulary of Old English. My name is Nadia Karina with student number 057. First thing to be discussed is about Old English that has less borrowed words compared to present day English borrowed words. The borrowed word from present day English came from many of the world's languages. For example, chauffeur that came from French, or balcony from Italian, walk from Chinese, even rucksack from German. There's also words that doesn't come directly but via another language. For example, is coach. It was originally from Hungarian, then it was borrowed into English from French. Comparing to the Old English that has far fewer borrowed words that was made up of predominantly Germanic, though Latin was also one of the sources. Some of the Old English borrowed words are still used in the present day English, even if the modern spellings are sometimes slightly different. For example, candle. It has different spelling with the one used in the present day English, with the spelling Candel instead of Candle. Another example is the word gold that we also use in the present day English. Those are the example of words that we are familiar with the use. There's also some Old English words that survive only in regional dialects of present day English. For example, whelp. It also has mean of puppy in northeast and northwest. It came from the Old English word whelp. Sometimes what looks like familiar word in present-day English have quite different meaning in Old English. For example, the word grin. We usually refer that to a smile, yet in Old English it refers to region of the groin. There's also the example of the word dream. In present-day English, we thought about referring it to dream, but in Old English it means joy, melody, or music. Now we are on the last point that talk about compounding. Old English has made a great use of compounding to form new words. It is a process of putting two or more words together to form a new word. For example, is the word sea that compound with the word grown. As a result, is the word sea grown, or as we know, sea ground. Another example is the word dream that compound with the word craft to form the word dreamcraft, or as we know, dreamcraft, that has a meaning of the art of making music. Um, Pardon my pronunciation as I'm not well acquainted with the Old English pronunciation. And as we know, in present day English, we have replaced many of these compounds that were used in the Old English with new words borrowed from other languages.
Next, I'm going to explain about Old English, a synthetic language. First, I will explain about the definition of analytic and synthetic language. First, analytic language is one in which the grammatical function of the words and phrases in a sentence is indicated by the order in which they appear. It also can be called as isolating language. The second one is synthetic language or inflectional is the primary means of conveying the grammatical function of a word by adding an ending to it. And the next one is the differences between Old English and present day English. First, Old English is using synthetic language, and there is an example: sick birds shot or swings. In the sentence, we know easily who the subject is and who the object is. By adding the inflection X, it categorized as a subject, while the inflection Z is an object. And the second one is present day English is using analytic language. There is an example: a swing shot sick bird. We can interpret with the subject and the object by the grammatical terms. A swings is the subject and sick bird is the object. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Vania Desthalia and my student number is 76. So the next one I'm going to explain about case, gender, and number. In Old English, grammatical function was indicated by case ending. Case ending itself, it means inflection on noun, and subject of a sentence is called nominative case. Direct object of a sentence is accusative case. In the example number 5, the A ending marks in there as the subject of a sentence, while the N ending as an object of a sentence. A is a nominative case ending, or we can call it nominative inflection. N is an accusative case ending, or we can call it accusative inflection. There are two different forms of the determiners. The se is the nominative form and the bone is the accusative form. So we can see vita as a nominative case. Then the front of vita, it must be nominative form as the determiner, because vita here as a noun, and if the noun is the accusative case, then it must be preceded by the accusative form as a determiner. So it depends of the noun. And the next one is we can switch the word order, but they have same meaning. In the example, we can see vita as a nominative case and it changed it into accusative case, but they have a same meaning, right? The wise men have the messengers. So the order is not important, not influenced by the meaning. And the next one is not all Old English noun have different case ending. For example, in example number 9, if we make change the prince as subject and the king as object, And then we can look at example number 10. Shining and idling have same in the verb in both, which are the nominative and accusative. So determiner is a very important because they can tell us which the subject and which the object. And the next one, I'm going to explain the gender. Gender were masculine, feminine, and neuter. It can change a subject or object. For the example, in the masculine, both of the nouns are preceded by the determiner of masculine form. And in the feminine, we can see in the example there. And the next one is cases. There are two cases. The first one is genitive case. It's same as a present day English. It indicates possession in various ways, which are his or her, or an apostrophe as in the example dance book. And the genitive case indicate the genitive inflection on the noun. We can see in the example, if a noun is in the genitive case and preceded by determiners, we need to use the genitive forms of the determiners. The second one is dative cases. It indicates as indirect object. For the example, the crusty old professor gave the students a dull lecture. The crusty old professor as a subject, gave as a verb, and the subject as a indirect object, and the lecture as a direct object. And the last one is number. It use of a singular or plural, which same as a present day English. It of course depends of the case and a gender. So we can see in the example, shining and shining plus es is different. So that's all. Thank you.
Now we will talk about Old English verb. Old English verb is like nouns in Old English that inflects for case, gender, and number. Verbs inflect to mark person and tense. We know that in present day English, the only inflection for person is on third person singular for verb. For example, he walks. Then the irregular verb to be is an exception for the first person singular am in I am. The second person are and the third person is. Old English also did inflections such as I see singer is I sing, who sings is you sing, he singeth is she sings. Then, in present day English, there are weak verbs and strong verbs. Weak verb is by adding the inflection such as ed and t. In strong verbs is by changes the flowers. For example, walk, borrowed is kind of weak verbs, and then drank, sang is kind of strong verb. Old English verbs also had strong and weak verbs, but in Old English there were more strong verbs than in present day English. Thank you.
That's all from us. Thank you for listening until the end, and goodbye.